Did you know that in this chaotic world, knowledgeable people are not those who merely memorize theories or are easily swept away by emotions? They are the ones who understand the power of control, the importance of maintaining composure in every situation. In this video, you will discover the principles left by Machiavelli, combined with Stoic philosophy, to live a life where emotions do not dictate your actions, but instead, use them as strategic tools to achieve your goals. Do you have the courage to face this truth, to learn how to act not from instinct but from cold calculation, precision, and power? Let's dive into the principles that will make you dangerously intelligent. Cold-hearted about emotions, mastering emotions and turning them into strategic tools. In this challenging life, we cannot always control the emotions that arise, the shocks from external circumstances, or the invisible pressures weighing heavily on our shoulders. However, the influential individuals, those who not only survive but also thrive in stressful, harsh situations, are those who know how to master their emotions. This does not mean eliminating emotions or living a life of cold indifference. Rather, it is about learning to transform emotions into strategic tools, powerful weapons that can significantly influence the environment around us and help us achieve our goals. Stoic philosophy, one of the oldest and most powerful teachings on understanding and managing emotions, is the key to this mastery. Built on the foundation of self-control and reason, Stoic philosophy emphasizes that emotions are not to be surrendered to, but must be learned to govern. Fleeting emotions do not sweep away a Stoic. They do not let anger, fear, or happiness dictate their actions. They understand that emotions are merely natural responses of the body to external stimuli, and allowing emotions to control us only makes us victims of circumstance. When we let our emotions run free, that's when we lose power and control. Emotions are not our enemies. They are an essential part of being human. But if we don't know how to manage them and direct them toward our goals, they become raging storms that can sweep us away in our weakest moments. This not only diminishes our work performance, but also affects our relationships, careers, and even our very selves. On the other hand, when we learn to control our emotions, we can use them as powerful tools to achieve great goals. Imagine in a high-pressure situation, instead of letting anger take control, you manage to stay calm, think carefully, and act wisely. You will notice a distinct difference between someone who lets their emotions lead them and someone who masters their emotions. By learning to view emotions with clarity, we don't just avoid internal chaos. We can harness them to create innovative strategies rather than being led by the nose by our feelings. Cold-heartedness does not mean being indifferent or apathetic. It means knowing when to express emotion, when to remain silent, and when to act decisively. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we can feel pain and disappointment, but the important thing is not to let these feelings dominate our minds and hearts. We may hurt, but we do not allow that pain to dictate our actions. Emotions are a part of life, but when we learn how to control them, they become part of our strategy, part of our inner strength that no one can take away. Think of a leader, a strategist, or someone who masters their craft. These individuals never let emotions dictate their decisions at critical moments. They understand that emotional detachment is wisdom, not a lack of feeling. They simply know how to master themselves. They know that to make sound decisions and maintain clarity in crucial moments, they must control their emotions. Therefore, learning to be cold-hearted about emotions is not something foreign or overly complicated. It is an innovative life strategy. When you realize that emotions can be a powerful weapon, you will no longer fear facing difficult situations or challenges. You will become more assertive, more decisive, and most importantly, you will become the one who takes charge of your life. Let emotions be the foundation of your strategy, not something that controls you. Keen observation. Spotting the smallest signs from others to discover weaknesses. When we talk about mastering emotions and self-control, it's not just about keeping calm in tense moments, but also about a more profound, more refined ability to observe the world around us. Knowledgeable people not only master their own emotions, they also can identify and understand the feelings and actions of others. This is a meticulous observation, not just a casual glance, but a deep attention to every small gesture, every glance, every shift in tone or behavior from the person in front of them. It's the art of reading others, and it's this skill that helps you uncover their weaknesses they might never openly reveal. Keen observation is not just about looking with suspicion, but the ability to spot the smallest signals others unknowingly reveal. A slight scratch of the head, a brief hesitation in speech, or even an unusual silence in a tense situation. These are all valuable signs that help us understand more about the person in front of us. When you notice these signals, you can recognize when someone is being dishonest, hiding something, or when they are showing vulnerability that they don't want others to see. These minor signs are the key that can open the door into their psychology, helping you understand the internal factors driving their actions. Stoic philosophy, an ancient school of thought, not only teaches us how to face our own emotions, but also emphasizes the importance of observation. A Stoic understands that not everything that happens before their eyes is an obvious truth. They notice the fleeting glance, hear the unnatural words, and sense the slight shifts in the atmosphere. It is this meticulous observation that helps them stay grounded and make wise decisions, rather than being swept away by others' emotions or impulsive actions. They don't just look at actions, they listen to the unspoken signals, the silent cues that others unknowingly broadcast. This also applies to building strategies and relationships. When you understand someone else's weaknesses through careful observation, you can not only easily predict their next move, but also adjust your plan to achieve your goal. For instance, in a negotiation, if you notice the other party is uncomfortable with a particular proposal, you'll know how to shift your position to bring them to your side without making them feel pressured. This is the power of understanding others through the smallest observations. Therefore, meticulous observation is not just a helpful skill in social interactions, but also a great strategy that helps you gain the upper hand in any situation. This creates a connection between two critical aspects: self-control and the harnessing of inner strength. When you master your emotions and understand the feelings of others, you become immune to manipulation and can easily control any situation. With the combination of mastering emotions and keen observation, you won't just have inner strength, you will also possess the ability to read people. And when you hold both of these elements, you'll realize that in any situation, power doesn't just come from physical strength or words, but from the ability to understand what others are trying to hide. This is when you become a true strategist, not only controlling your own emotions, but also understanding the actions and movements of others to gain an advantage in every situation. Controlled presence. Not seeking attention, yet making others feel your power and influence. There is one misconception that we often have in life. Power and influence are not always displayed through loud actions or booming words. A strong presence is not about dominating everyone's attention. It's a subtle, wise presence that makes others sense the latent power within you, without you needing to do anything extraordinary. This is the concept of controlled presence. The ability to make others perceive your authority without haste or showiness. To understand this better, look at great leaders, those who, when they enter a room, don't need to say a word, yet everyone feels the respect and influence they command. They don't need to give orders or assert their presence by grabbing attention. They simply exist with a grounded posture, an incredible calmness. In this noisy and chaotic world, this is true power, the ability to master space and time, to make all eyes naturally turn toward you without any effort. Stoic philosophy, with its absolute respect for self-control and reason, asserts that true power does not come from vying for attention or flaunting authority. The Stoic understands that real power lies in composure and the ability to master one's emotions. They don't need to prove themselves, because their presence speaks for itself. In fact, when a person can maintain complete control over themselves, they can naturally and easily influence and control others. There's no need to shout or forcefully assert. Just stability of mind and firmness in action is enough to create a profound influence. This control is not about coldness or indifference, but about a presence marked by confidence and certainty. When you can control your emotions and actions in every situation, you no longer need to worry about drawing attention to yourself. Those who genuinely have influence are not the ones constantly trying to stand out, but those who, when in a room, naturally draw attention through their calm, clarity, and the invisible strength they exude. Maintaining a controlled presence in all situations. Maintaining a controlled presence in any situation not only helps you retain others' respect, but also allows you to build influence proactively. You don't need to rush into making decisions or judgments immediately. Instead, you can take your time to observe, listen, and think before you act. It is this calmness that creates lasting influence, an influence that external pressures cannot shake. In this context, the combination of controlling emotions and meticulous observation is the foundation of a controlled presence. When you master your emotions and observe your surroundings, you will naturally create a profound impact without taking bold actions or speaking in grandiose terms. You will be the one in control in every situation, not just by what you say, but by the way you make others perceive you. This is the powerful connection between emotional control, keen observation, and the ability to have a controlled presence. These three elements form a powerful whole that no one can violate, creating a profound and enduring influence that doesn't require effort. And when you achieve this perfect combination, you will not simply be present in a meeting, a conversation, or a critical situation. You will be the one creating the influence, the one who makes people listen and respect you naturally, without having to say too much. By mastering yourself, you can freely express your strength and power, without needing to fight or showcase it through loud actions. And it is this presence, this calmness, that will create a powerful and lasting influence on those around you. Strategic speech. Every word and silence is a deliberate move, making others convince themselves. In this world, words hold tremendous power. They can build, but they can also destroy. They can change how others perceive you, your ideas, and even the world around you. However, we don't always need to speak at length to make an impression or create influence. In fact, true wisdom comes from knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, when to make a strong statement and when to leave space, allowing others to think for themselves and persuade themselves. Strategic speech is not about flowery words or soothing phrases. It's about carefully chosen words, each one with a clear purpose. Those who know how to use speech as a strategic tool understand that power doesn't lie in saying everything you know, but in the ability to control the information and emotions of others through every word. Each word must be spoken with intention, so that the listener not only listens, but must persuade themselves, find their own reasons to agree, or take action based on what you suggest. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on control and reason, asserts that the Stoic knows how to use speech precisely, avoiding it for trivial matters. Wisdom lies not in speaking too much to convey a message, but in the ability to say little yet thoroughly, to speak at the right time and in the proper context. When a person has achieved a deep understanding of themselves and the world around them, they will realize that sometimes silence can be more potent than words. Silence in communication holds immense strategic value. Silence in communication holds immense strategic value. Sometimes, in a tense conversation, purposefully remaining silent creates space for the other party to think, evaluate, and realize that they need to change or take action. It is within this silence that others will convince themselves of things they hadn't previously recognized. They will feel they have the freedom to make their own decisions, but in truth, you have skillfully guided them to a conclusion you desire. Strategic speech is not just a combination of grammar and words. It is the ability to master the situation, control your emotions, and know how to manipulate everything around you. This control forces others to recognize your influence without feeling imposed upon automatically. You can create a conversation that benefits you without coercion or showing force. This demonstrates finesse and the incredible ability to master yourself. Just like controlled presence, when you know how to use strategic speech, you won't need to attract attention through noise, yet still master the situation and create profound influence. You will not just be the speaker, you will be the one who makes others feel the power in every word you say. As a result, you won't just lead others, but also inspire them to follow the path you've laid out for them confidently. Thus, the combination of strategic speech and controlled silence is the tool that allows you to grasp and manipulate situations with finesse. Powerful words, combined with keen observation and controlled presence, create a perfect communication strategy that helps you not only achieve your goals, but also win the hearts of others. In life, things don't always go the way you want, but when you understand the power of words and silence, you will become the winner, no matter the circumstances. When you can combine silence with strategic speech, you don't just create influence, you build respect and inner strength, making those around you more inclined to believe what you say. Self-reliance, not dependent on the recognition of others, and not easily manipulated in a world full of interactions, where every action and decision can be influenced by others' opinions and judgments. One of the most valuable qualities we can develop is self-reliance. Self-reliance is not just about material independence, it's also about mental autonomy, the ability to master yourself without needing the recognition or approval of others. It is the ability to find value and motivation from within, rather than from external influences. A self-reliant person does not live to meet society's expectations or to seek validation from others' gaze. They do not need praise or recognition to feel worthy. They understand that a person's actual value does not come from compliments, but from their actions, from being steadfast in their beliefs and ideals. Every decision they make is not influenced by what others think, but is driven by principles and a clear, accurate vision of their life's goals. Stoic philosophy teaches that true freedom and power come only when recognition by others no longer binds us. The Stoic does not seek the approval of society or compliments from friends, family, or colleagues. They seek only satisfaction from within themselves. When you are not dependent on external validation, you are no longer swept up in meaningless competitions, exploitative relationships, or unrealistic expectations from others. You are free in the path you have chosen, and that is true freedom. Self-reliance, as resistance to all forms of manipulation. Self-reliance is also resistance to all forms of manipulation. In a world filled with external influences, ranging from others trying to control your actions, to social pressures that make you feel the need to follow the crowd, a self-reliant person always maintains their determination and clarity. They know how to distance themselves from external influences and live according to their own principles. Tempting invitations or outside enticements do not easily sway them, because they understand that true freedom and success come only when they live on their own terms, not according to what others want. With this mindset, a self-reliant person can face any challenge without feeling defeated. They are not afraid of failure because they understand that every failure is a lesson, a step forward on the path of self-improvement. They are not scared of isolation because they have learned to find satisfaction within themselves. And most importantly, they are not afraid of being manipulated because they have built a solid inner strength, strong enough to stand firm against any external pressure. So, how can we develop this self-reliance in our lives? One key factor is understanding our own value and goals, much like we've created the ability to control emotions, observe, and apply strategic speech in essential situations. When you know who you are, when you are clear on your life's goals, and when you understand that true freedom comes only from not depending on the judgment of others, you will no longer be swept up in meaningless competitions or societal pressures. Combined with the ability of controlled presence, you not only achieve self-reliance in steering your own life, but also create influence without overly seeking attention. Self-reliance is not just about mastering yourself. It's also about the ability to stand firm and remain resolute in every situation without being swayed by external factors. When you combine self-reliance with controlled presence and strategic speech, you will establish an assertive demeanor and a profound, lasting influence in every aspect of your life. This self-reliance becomes the key to living authentically while also guiding others, not through manipulation, but through wisdom and a solid inner strength.